The Lion of Katanga, they once called him. Georges Clement, ex-planter, ex-Congo mercenary leader. One of Chombe's generals, he led a motley collection of adventurers in the Congo uprising. He fought his way to Rwanda, was repatriated to Belgium, and finally settled in England, in Fulchester, where he married. But the Lion couldn't forget his old ways, and today he finds himself in Fulchester Crown Court, charged with treason.
Now, members of the jury, as you know, the charge against Georges Clement is treason. The prosecution will show that whilst he was living in this country, he planned with others a rebellion in the island of Santa Isabella, which was one of Her Majesty's territories, and that he later led an armed revolt on that island. Now, treason is an offence against allegiance. And the prosecution case is that Georges Clement owed allegiance to Her Majesty at all material times. The witnesses I shall call...
Mr. Parsons, before you leave the topic of allegiance, there are a couple of points that I think should be made. I only interrupt because the concept of allegiance is perhaps a little difficult.
Yes, I'm grateful, my lord.
The first point, members of the jury, is that the defendant does not hold a British passport and never has held one. Now, that is a point which he may intend to make.
My lord, I'm quite content to disclose this aspect of the defence's case. My client, Georges Clement, is a Belgian national and holds a Belgian passport. As such, I submit he owed no allegiance to Her Majesty the Queen and cannot be guilty of treason.
I am obliged to you, Mr. Lotterby. Members of the jury, you've heard the defence emphasise that the defendant is not and never has been a British citizen. Now, whether or not he held allegiance to this country is a matter which you, and not I, must eventually decide. Now, what is allegiance? The dictionary defines it as the duty to a sovereign or government. Now, it might help you if I read what a distinguished judge has said on the subject. He said, a man may owe allegiance in two different ways. A British subject owes what's called natural allegiance, and a man who is not a British subject only owes allegiance as a result of having come within the king's realm, and thereby put himself under the protection of the king, as it is called. Thus, an alien can owe allegiance and can commit treason. Mr. Parsons?
My lord, I'm obliged. Members of the jury, it is a prosecution's case that whilst the accused was himself living in this country, he owed allegiance, and that he never ceased to owe allegiance because when he left this country to go to Santa Isabella, he left his wife and child here, and he left his property here under the protection of the Crown. Now, as you no doubt know, Santa Isabella is at this moment independent and self-governing, but that does not assist the accused because at the time of the alleged revolt, it was still one of Her Majesty's territories. Now, my first witness...
Just a moment, Mr. Parsons. I understand that the defendant is a Belgian national. Mr. Lotterby, have you arranged for an interpreter to be here to assist him?
Oh, my lord, my client does understand the language. He will endeavour to give his evidence in English.
Right.
I believe he speaks English fluently, my lord.
Very well. Let us proceed, Mr. Parsons.
My first witness is Simon Chase.
Simon Chase, please.
What is your religion?
C of E.
Take the book in your right hand and read aloud the words on the card.
I swear by Almighty God, the evidence I shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Now, you are Simon Edward Chase of 10 Reed Street, Fulham, London.
I am.
And what is your profession, Mr. Chase?
Freelance telereporter.
Try and avoid using slang, Mr. Chase. Not everybody uses or understands the same slang.
Very well, my lord. What I mean is I'm a freelance TV journalist. I make film reports and sell them to television companies.
Oh, you work for the BBC?
Yeah, and ITV, whoever's prepared to pay.
Now, do you particularly specialise in any kind of story, Mr. Chase?
Yeah, I specialise in trouble.
Trouble, Mr. Chase?
Wars, revolutions, famines, whatever, wherever.
Look, I'm in favour of brevity in court, Mr. Chase, but it is possible to be too succinct.
Very well, my lord. What I mean is that I'm prepared to go anywhere in the world where there's the kind of story that I specialise in. I don't mind whether it's a chinless wonder trying to ride a bike up Everest or a revolution in Pago Pago. If I think it's got human interest, drama, I go out and get it.
Mercy.
Yes, it would be true to say, would it not, that you specialise in overseas stories?
Yeah, well, there's no point doing stories in this country. Anything worthwhile is usually covered by the staff men.
Yes. Now, you were on the island of Santa Isabella at the time of the alleged revolt, were you not?
Yeah, I was there when Clement and his thugs landed on
Yes,
Blackbeard's...
There are one or two points I'd like to clarify before we get to the landing.
Yeah, okay.
Why did you go to the island of Santa Isabella?
Well, I could smell a good story brewing.
Mr. Chase.
I'll explain, my lord.
Please.
Well, as you no doubt know, the island of Santa Isabella is in the Caribbean. It was due for independence in June of this year.
And when did you go to the island?
March this year. Well, I'd heard there'd been a threat of UDI if the British government handed over to the People's Party.
But the People's Party had a majority in the House of Assembly of Santa Isabella, did it not?
Yeah, but the elections in Santa Isabella are as bent as a hairpin.
Bent, Mr. Chase?
Well, crooked, fixed. The party that's in power always brings in new electoral rules, new electoral boundaries, just to make sure next time they get in with a whacking great majority.
I see.
Well, I'd heard that some white planners were prepared to put up some money to finance a revolt.
My lord, this is hearsay, of course.
Yes, I agree, Mr. Lotterby. But on the other hand, there obviously were these rumours going around, and I think it's right that we should take judicial note of them. On the other hand, Mr. Chase, I'd be obliged if you would confine your evidence to matters which you yourself perceived.
Yeah, very well, my lord.
Now, where did you first meet Mr. Clement?
In Katanga at the time of the Congo troubles. I was the first journalistic interview with him before Katanga fell.
So you knew Mr. Clement before you went to Santa Isabella?
Yeah, I did.
Now, did you interview Mr. Clement on Santa Isabella?
No, I found him in Honduras.
Honduras?
This is a republic in Central America, my lord.
Yes, I was aware of the location of the country, Mr. Parsons.
Oh, my apologies, my lord. Now, Mr. Chase, as a result of information you received, you traced Mr. Clement to Honduras.
Yeah, Trujillo.
Yes, Trujillo in Honduras.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, did you succeed in interviewing Mr. Clement there?
Yeah, I did.
Now, my lord, at this point, I'd like to introduce this interview in evidence. I have a transcript of the interview, but if your lordship is agreeable, I would prefer to show a film of the interview here in court.
Well, films and tape recordings can be tampered with, Mr. Parsons.
Yes, I am aware of that, my lord, but the typescript can be equally erroneous. I suggest the best thing would be to show the film and allow the jury to make up their own minds.
Do you have the necessary equipment in court?
Yes, my lord.
Yes. Mr. Chase, what was your precise function in the filming of this interview?
Well, I asked the questions and took care of the sound recording equipment.
Who was the cameraman?
Freelance Mexican I'd worked with before, Diego Santana.
Will you be calling Mr. Santana, Mr. Parsons?
No, my lord. I regret he's unavailable. He is at this moment in Chile on an assignment.
Who edited the film, Mr. Chase?
I did. After we'd shot the interview, Santana handed over the exposed film to me. I edited it along with the soundtrack.
And no one else was involved?
No, just the two of us.
Mr. Lotterby, since you'll be able to cross-examine Mr. Chase, and he seems to have been the sole originator of this film, I see no reason why I shouldn't allow it in evidence.
I have seen the film, my lord. I wasn't going to object to it.
Oh, very well. Right, proceed, Mr. Parsons.
Thank you, my lord. My lord, whilst the equipment is being set up, it might assist the jury if Mr. Chase were to describe the circumstances of the interview.
Very well.
Now, Mr. Chase, this film we're about to see was filmed in Trujillo in Honduras.
That's right.
Now, where exactly?
In the garden of Clement's Hotel.
He was staying there quite openly.
No, he was registered under the name of Weber, Carl Weber.
But you found him nonetheless.
Yeah, well, there's only 3 hotels and 4 brothels in Trujillo. It wasn't hard.
Yes. Now, was Mr. Clement surprised to see you?
Yeah, he was.
But he granted you the interview.
Yeah, well, he knew me from the Congo. There was no point him denying he was Clement. Besides, I think he figured if he gave me the interview, I'd clear off.
Yes. When was the interview shown on British television?
April 9th, 1973, ITV.
Yes. That was just after the uprising.
Yeah.
Yes. My lord, I believe the equipment is ready.
Then you may proceed, Mr. Parsons.
Thank you, my lord. Thank you.
Good day. It's the 7th of March, 1973. My name's Simon Chase. I'm standing in the gardens of a small hotel in Trujillo, Honduras. I'm going to be speaking to Mr. George Clement. Mr. Clement, what exactly are you doing here in Honduras?
I'm here on business.
What kind of business?
Private.
Some of your officers from your old Congo unit are here. Duplessis, Schneider, LaPlane.
We meet from time to time.
In Honduras?
Different places.
Well, it's just an old comrades reunion, is it?
We are here on business.
Well, there's no war on here.
War has not always been my business. I was a planter before I became a soldier.
You're looking for a plantation in Honduras?
Yes.
What kind of plantation?
We have not decided yet.
Coffee plantation. You used to grow coffee in the Congo, didn't you?
I had a fine plantation, built up from nothing. Just scrub and jungle when I started. Took me 20 years. Those savages, they destroyed it in 2 hours. Just 2 hours. They destroyed everything.
They killed your wife, didn't they? No wonder you feel bitter. You thinking of starting here again? Or in Santa Isabella?
Why do you ask that?
I just thought you might be thinking of settling down there.
It's the same story there, just like the Congo. They are going to give everything to the savages. The politicians are giving away everything that people built up for years. It will all be handed over, unless you fight.
Is that what Schneider and Duplessis are doing here?
I answer no more questions.
Did the Santa Isabella Loyalist Party get in touch with you?
I answer no more questions. The interview is over.
So this is the extent of the interview, Mr. Chase.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, did you speak to Mr. Clement again?
No, he wouldn't see me again, but I managed to get a word with one or two of his men.
Yes, and was the accused present on that occasion?
Yeah, he turned up later, tried to stop them talking. They'd been drinking.
How did you know they were Clement's men?
Well, they said they were. Besides, Schneider and Duplessis, his officers, tried to... they were fussing round them, you know, like mother hens.
Yes. Did they say why they were into here?
Yeah, they said they were going to form a white army of liberation.
You actually heard these men describe themselves as that?
Yeah, some of them meant him as a joke, but most of them meant it.
Now, how long did you stay into here after the interview with Mr. Clement?
About another week, then I flew back to Santa Isabella. I figured the invasion couldn't be far off.
Yes, and you were present when the invasion took place?
Yeah.
Well, how did you know where it was going to be?
Well, there's only 3 possible landing places on the island. I was lucky. I happened to choose the right one.
Yes, Blackbeard's Bay.
Yeah,
Did you see Mr. Clement on the beach?
I did.
Now, you couldn't have been mistaken.
No, I knew him.
And was he armed?
Yeah,
You saw a gun in his hand.
I did.
Now, what happened when the invaders landed?
Well, there was a detachment of Royal Marines and armed police waiting for them.
Yes. Was there any shooting?
Yeah,
And were there any casualties?
25 dead, few wounded.
And on the invaders' side?
Clement lost about a dozen men. On the other side, 5 armed police, 8 native policemen.
Yes, and as we know, Mr. Clement and one or 2 of his men managed to escape.
Yeah, they did.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chase.
How many men did Mr. Clement have under his command at Trujillo?
35?
35. Hardly an impressive invasion force.
No, it was pathetic. Besides, I was told by Schneider that they
No,
were...
Mr. Clement, second in command in the Congo?
Yeah, Schneider said they were expecting 150, 200 men and guns.
How much was the force that landed at Blackbeard's Bay?
30?
30, even less than the number you saw at Trujillo.
Probably couldn't get the others sobered up in time.
Was this mammoth invasion force heavily armed?
What, rifles, sidearms?
No automatic weapons, no mortars, no rocket launchers?
They had a Bren.
1 Bren, that all.
Yeah. I think they were waiting for cache of arms on the beach. There were some white planters waiting for Clement to lead them.
Oh, was there?
No?
What went wrong?
My lord, the witness cannot possibly answer that question.
I take your point, Mr. Parsons. On the other hand, I think it helps us all if we have an understanding of the background of the case. And after all, it is only a background. It doesn't touch the accused.
Mr. Chase, what went wrong with the invasion of Santa Isabella?
Well, in my opinion, I think Clement's backers got cold feet.
Backers, Mr. Chase?
Well, somebody had to supply the money for the arms and so forth. Financing a revolution can be expensive.
Who were these backers?
Well, the people who didn't want the island to become independent, the ones with most to lose, the businessmen, planners, etc.
And in your opinion, these men sacrificed Mr. Clement to political necessity?
I don't know about necessity. They certainly sacrificed him.
He was the scapegoat.
Yeah, he was the pig in the middle. He had to be the loser, whatever happened.
Oh, why do you say that?
Well, it's obvious.
Not to me, Mr. Chase.
My lord, if the invasion had been a success, Clement would have been lost in the background.
Well, why?
Well, what supposedly popular revolution's going to admit it hired an ex-Congo mercenary to do its fighting?
But this revolution failed, Mr. Chase.
Exactly, so he was the scapegoat. Somebody had to be the fall guy. Clement was the mug.
Now, Mr. Chase, you said you were at Blackbeard's Bay when this invasion force landed.
That's right.
You said you saw Mr. Clement on the beach.
I did.
Yet the security forces failed to take him.
Yeah.
How close were you to Mr. Clement?
About 30 yards.
You paced out the distance, did you?
No, of course not.
So you just estimated the distance?
Yeah.
Could it have been 40 yards?
Yeah.
50?
No, I don't think so.
But you're not sure?
No.
Did this landing take place in broad daylight?
No, they landed about 2 a.m.
When it was dark?
Oh, the rockets went up as soon as they landed.
Rockets? You mean flares?
Flares and rockets.
Well, hardly the most reliable form of illumination in which to make a positive identification, Mr. Chase.
Well, it wasn't hard. I was looking out for him.
How was Mr. Clement dressed?
Sort of camouflage battle dress.
How were the other invaders dressed?
Same way.
Well, did he wear any special flashes or distinguishing insignias on his battle dress?
No.
I'd like you to have a look at a photograph. Thank you. Is this a photograph you took of the invaders after they had surrendered?
Yeah, that's the photograph.
Exhibit number 2, my lord. As you will see, my lord, all the invaders had blackened faces. Mr. Chase, was Mr. Clement's face black too?
Yeah.
And you're asking the court to believe that you were able positively to identify a man in battle dress with a blackened face at a distance of up to 50 yards at night on a beach illuminated only by flares? Well, by the look of those men, I should think their own mothers would have difficulty in recognizing them. Chase, you said there was some shooting where the invaders landed.
Yeah, as soon as the flares went up, the shooting started.
Who fired first?
I don't know.
Well, was it the security forces or the invaders?
Well, I couldn't see.
Strange, isn't it? When you claim to have seen so much else that was happening.
Well, when bullets start to fly, you get your head down.
Precisely, Mr. Chase. Was any warning given by the security forces?
No.
You didn't hear any challenge?
Nope.
So they could have opened fire first?
Yeah.
Approximately how many of the security forces were lying in ambush for the invaders?
75.
How were they armed?
Rifles, revolvers.
Automatic weapons?
Yeah.
Rocket launchers?
Yeah.
So the invaders didn't stand a chance, did
No.
they?
Not a hope in hell.
How long did this battle last?
About 5 minutes.
Hardly a battle at all.
No.
How did it end?
Clement lost about 14 men dead or wounded. They just surrendered.
Hardly what we would expect from a band of mercenaries commanded by a celebrated ex-Congo mercenary leader.
Well, I don't know about commanded. I think that's putting it a little optimistically.
Oh, you mean Mr. Clement wasn't in command?
I mean it was like the Congo, a bunch of psychopaths and aging thugs out for what they could get. He was paying them, so they did as he told them, more or less.
Oh, come now, Mr. Chase, you are being unfair to Mr. Clement, are you not? In the Congo, both before and during the Troubles, he was held in the highest esteem, was he not?
By who?
Ordinary, decent-minded people.
Yeah, well, that all depended on whose side you're on.
Thank you, Mr. Chase.
Yes, Mr. Chase, whose side was Mr. Clement on?
Chombi's, of course.
Yes, you knew Clement in the Congo.
Oh, yeah, I knew him in the Congo. He commanded the 14th Commando. I followed them round for 2 or 3 weeks.
My lord, I must protest in my learned friend's line of questioning. What possible relevance can past events in the Congo have to an alleged invasion of the Caribbean in 1973?
My lord, it was not I, but my learned friend himself who first mentioned the Congo.
On the contrary, it was Mr. Chase, your
Let
witness
them
who
know
first...
about the Congo. I have nothing to be ashamed of.
Mr. Clement, you must not interrupt.
It is right that people should understand the truth about the Congo. They will then know why I've done what I've done.
Let us hope so, Mr. Clement. Mr. Parsons, in view of the fact that our time is not unlimited, I'd be obliged if you keep this new line of questioning as brief as possible.
Your lordship pleases. Mr. Chase, it is right, is it not, that Clement was convicted on certain criminal charges arising out of his activities in the Congo?
My lord, I protest to this. For one thing, my client is insistent that he's never before been at a criminal trial in his life.
He was tried in his absence after he skipped the country.
Well, I don't think we can have mention of a conviction obtained in the accused's absence.
Well, my lord, charges as well as convictions may be used against an accused.
Yes, but it's all hearsay.
No, I was there.
Oh, you were you? Oh, very well then. We'll proceed, Mr. Parsons.
Thank you, my lord. Now, what impression did you form of the defendant's character while you were in the Congo?
Well, he's a hard man, physically brave, not unintelligent, but he's like all the mercenaries, a nutter.
Do you mean that Mr. Clement was insane?
Well, no, not exactly.
Well, what do you mean, Mr.
Well, I
Chase?
mean he's the kind of guy you can't reason with. Can I give you an example of how he behaved?
Very well.
I was in a small market town when his men took him. It's a small place on the Katanga border called Juba. There was very little local resistance. The gendarmerie had fled. Now, his men arrived in that town and went straight to the bars and whorehouses, just like they always did. They found a bar with some liquor and they started celebrating. Now, that bar had been booby-trapped. A bomb went off. 17 of his men were killed. He went loco. He rounded up the local townspeople and asked them who put the bomb in the bar. Nothing happened, so he shot 17 Africans there and then.
Yes, it's a horrifying story, Mr. Chase, but such actions are not unknown in war, particularly in civil war.
Yeah, but it didn't end there, my lord. After they shot the first 17, they went back to the villages and asked them again who was responsible for putting the bomb there. Nothing happened again. They shot another 17. Then they went back again. 51 people died that day.
It was not like that. He is lying.
Mr. Clement, you must not interrupt.
But what he said is not true.
Then you must wait until it is your turn to give evidence, and then you can redress the balance.
Now, Mr. Chase, did Mr. Clement ever find who planted the bomb?
No. I doubt if any of the villagers did it. I don't think they had any explosives or knew how to make booby traps.
And what happened next?
Well, Clement heard that a force of United Nations soldiers was advancing on the town. An Ethiopian battalion. It's funny, none of those mercenaries ever fancied mixing it with the Ethiopians. They all cleared off fast.
Mr. Clement, have you any further questions, Mr. Parsons?
No, my lord.
Then you may leave the witness box, Mr. Chase.
My lord, I would point out that this witness's story, however horrifying, is completely unsubstantiated, and moreover reveals considerable personal animosity towards my client.
Mr. Lotterby, I think would be better advised to make this point in your final address to the jury.
I propose to do so, my lord. However, I submit that even if this story were true, and you've heard my client deny it, these alleged events occurred in Katanga, whilst my client was a citizen of that short-lived republic. Now, they can have no bearing on what is alleged to have occurred on the beach at Blackbeard's Bay in Santa Isabella.
Well, that is for the jury to decide.
My lord, my next witness is Detective Chief Superintendent Lane of the Special Branch.
Detective Chief Superintendent Lane, please.
I swear by Almighty God, the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Detective Chief Superintendent Orwell Lane, Special Branch.
Now, before I begin my examination of this witness, I'd like to request that his evidence be heard in camera.
My lord, the witness's evidence may surely only be heard in camera if it's likely to be a risk to national security.
That, my lord, is why I wish it to be heard in camera.
The case of the Queen against Clement will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court. The charge is treason. The defendant is Georges Clement, a Belgian, once the self-styled Lion of Katanga. His military career seemed to be over, but others had different ideas. 3 days before the island of Santa Isabella, one of the last of Britain's Caribbean possessions, was granted independence, Georges Clement is now accused of leading a motley band of ex-Congo mercenaries up the beach at Blackbeard's Bay. The invasion was a complete failure, but Clement managed to escape. He was arrested in Fulchester and brought to trial at Fulchester Crown Court on a charge of treason. This is the second day of the trial.
Mr. Parsons, I've considered your request that the evidence of this witness be held in camera. As you well know, evidence may only be held in camera if it is of such a nature that the security of the realm may be placed at risk if it were made public.
Yes, my lord, it may be possible that Detective Chief Superintendent Lane may be required to identify certain information and the sources of that information which has come into the hands of the special branch.
My lord, my client is not a spy, nor has he been accused of espionage. No scientific secrets are at stake, nor has the security of the realm been affected by any action of his.
Mr. Parsons, I'm not satisfied that your grounds are strong enough for this witness's evidence to be heard in camera.
My lord, may I point out...
No, Mr. Parsons, you may not. I dislike secrecy in a court of law unless the arguments for it are overwhelming, and yours are not.
As your lordship pleases.
Detective Chief Superintendent Lane, I must remind you that you're still on oath.
I understand, my lord.
Now, you are Detective Chief Superintendent Alwyn Lane.
Yes, sir.
And you are attached to the special branch.
I am, sir.
And you arrested the prisoner Georges Clement on the 27th of May this year.
I did, sir.
Where did you arrest him?
At Fulchester Coach Station. He was boarding a bus to York.
Yes. Had you had Mr. Clement under observation for some time prior to his arrest?
Yes, sir.
For how long?
On and off for the past few years.
Well, ever since he came back from the Congo, in fact.
Well, to be absolutely correct, sir, he came to this country from Holland. He travelled via Belgium and Holland from the Congo.
Is that was in November 1969?
That's correct, sir.
And did he marry soon afterwards?
Yes, sir. The bride was a Miss Margaret Patterson of Fulchester. They were married in... May I consult my notes, my lord?
Certainly, Chief Superintendent.
Mr. Claymore and Miss Margaret Patterson were married
November 23rd, 1969 in Fulchester Register Office.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes. Now, what was Mrs. Clement's nationality before her marriage?
British.
Yes. And Mr. Clement then settled in Fulchester?
Yes, sir. He and his wife bought a hotel on the moors just outside the town.
Yes. Was the hotel successful?
Apparently so. It had quite a large weekend and holiday trade.
As Mr. and Mrs. Clement ran the hotel together?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Was the marriage happy, as far as you could ascertain?
As far as I could judge, yes, sir. In 1971, Mrs. Clement gave birth to a son.
Yes. Now, did you keep Mr. Clement under constant observation over these 4 years?
No, sir. I just kept an eye on him from time to time.
Were his actions in any way suspicious?
No, my lord. That is, not until 13 months ago.
What happened then?
I noticed that he'd begun to make regular journeys to Harwich. Sometimes he went on day trips to Holland.
He went alone?
Yes, sir.
What was the purpose of these trips to Holland?
Well, our information's not complete on that point, sir. However, on one occasion, I trailed him across to Amsterdam and saw him meet Hans Schneider and another man called Duplessis.
Now, Schneider was Clement's second in command in the Congo, was he not?
That's correct, sir.
Yes. Now, did you eventually take certain steps in relation to Mr. Clement's telephone?
Yes, sir. I applied to the Home Office for permission for constant telephonic surveillance.
Yes.
In plain language, Chief Superintendent, what does that mean?
One of my officers tapped the defendant's telephone, my lord.
Bugging?
That is what the Americans call it, my lord.
A distasteful business, Chief Superintendent.
I agree, my lord, but sometimes necessary.
And do you produce a tape recording of several telephone conversations between the defendant and various persons known to the special branch?
The authenticity of these recordings is disputed, my lord.
Well, are you asking me to send the jury out?
Oh, no, my lord.
Very well, Mr. Lotterby. Mr. Parsons, do you have these recordings in court?
Yes, my lord.
I hope it won't take long to set them up.
No, my lord, we're fully prepared.
Right, well.
I would like to offer this tape in evidence, my lord. Detective Chief Superintendent, can you identify that tape?
Yes, sir. This is a tape of telephone calls to and from the defendant's hotel.
Yes. And has the tape remained in your possession ever since the time of its recording?
Yes, sir, it has.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
This first extract was recorded on December 15th, 1972.
Hi, Mo Hotel.
It's Hendrik.
Wait a minute. Leave that, I'll see to it. Where are you?
Place called Notley Moorside, know it?
Yes, about 12 miles away. You saw him?
Yes.
He guaranteed our supplies?
Yes.
All of them?
Some things he can't manage.
What?
Rocket launchers, motors.
Ah, merde.
He can do armor lights.
Good. Why not the rest?
There's a big demand.
Pay him.
With what money's run out?
We only have 3 months. We've got to go and get them for more money.
All Schneider's getting is promises.
Where are you at the moment?
Post office in the village.
Okay. Walk up the Moor Road as if you're taking a stroll. I'll pick you up in an hour.
Okay.
Now, what was the significance of that conversation, Chief Superintendent?
The arms, sir. This was the first mention of arms.
Yes, rocket launchers and mortars.
And armorites.
Yes, what are they?
American automatic rifles, sir. Very popular with guerrilla groups.
Yes. Now, who was the second man, the other voice on the telephone, the man who called himself Hendrik?
Hendrik Duplessis. He was Mr. Clement's supply officer in the Congo.
Yes, I see. And when was this second recording made, did you say?
2 weeks later, December 29th.
Yes, thank you.
Who's that?
Hendrik.
What's the news? Good or bad?
Pretty good. We got training facilities.
Where?
Honduras.
What about transport?
It's been arranged.
Good. Where are you?
Same place as last time.
I'll come and get you.
Yes, thank you very much. Now, you concluded from these two telephone conversations, Chief Superintendent, that things were coming to a head.
I did, sir. Arms had been mentioned, a base for training in Honduras,
yes,
and transport to Santa Isabella.
And at this point, did you propose to take action against the defendant?
Yes, sir.
And what was that action?
I decided to go and talk to him the day after the phone call.
And did you do so?
Yes, sir, but he'd gone.
Gone?
Vanished. He'd left the country.
Yes. You spoke to his wife?
Yes. She seemed very distressed, but she said she had no idea where he'd gone.
Yes. Now, after Mr. Clement left the country for Honduras, did Mrs. Clement and the child remain in this country?
Oh, yes, she continued to run the hotel.
Yes. And on his return from Santa Isabella, you picked up Mr. Clement at the Fulchester bus station.
That's correct, sir. He'd been observed arriving by train in Fulchester from Fishguard.
And you personally arrested him?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Did Mr. Clement say anything at the time of his arrest?
No, sir, he refused to make any statement, and he's continued to refuse to do so.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Chief Superintendent.
Chief Superintendent, these tape recordings of alleged telephone conversations, which you maintain were so significant, they appear to give the minimum of information, do they not?
They gave sufficient, sir.
But not apparently enough to enable you to call on Mr. Clement before he disappeared. Santa Isabella is not mentioned in these recordings, is it?
No, sir, not by name.
So you didn't know where Mr. Clement was going?
We had other information.
Yes, you do seem to have a lot of mysterious sources of information, Chief Superintendent.
It's the nature of the job, sir.
Yes, I'm sure it is. Now, this man, Hendrik Duplessis, whom you identified on the recording, where is he now?
Dead. He was one of those killed on the beach at Santa Isabella.
So he cannot appear in this court and confirm or deny that it was his voice?
Obviously not, sir.
So how can we be sure it was him?
Well, as I told you, I followed Clement to Amsterdam, and I saw him meet Hans Schneider and Duplessis. And I was also close enough to be able to overhear the sound of their voices.
What did they talk about?
Old times, mostly.
Nothing sinister?
Not when they were sitting down in the cafe, no. But then they started walking.
And then they were out of earshot, so presumably they could still have been talking about old times. And you say you were subsequently able to recognize Duplessis' voice from having listened to him take part in what, a 20, 30, 40-minute conversation?
63 minutes, to be precise, sir.
You've no proof that the voice on that recording is that of Hendrik Duplessis. Now, have you, Chief Superintendent?
I'm quite satisfied that it was, sir.
Well, your satisfaction alone is not sufficient. Now, tell me, Chief Superintendent, don't you find these recordings somewhat curious?
In what way, sir?
Well, here we have, according to your tape, two conspirators contemplating armed revolt. They discuss it over the phone.
I can only assume they were not aware that their phone had been tapped, sir.
Yes. Bugged is the word his lordship used. Do you expect the jury to believe that in this day and age, two experienced mercenary leaders like Clement and Duplessis had never heard of phone bugging?
Nevertheless, they talked over the phone as they did, sir. You heard them?
Oh, yes, I heard them. But I don't believe it. You were present when these conversations were recorded, were you?
Yes, sir.
The tape remained in your possession?
Oh, yes, sir.
All the time?
Yes, sir.
But you carried it around with you, did you?
No, sir. I locked it away in my office safe.
So the tape did not remain in your possession all the time?
Not in that sense, no, sir.
And quite clearly, you cannot give any absolute guarantee that this tape has not been tampered with. Now, Chief Superintendent, you tell my learned friend that the Clements' marriage appeared happy.
Yes, sir.
How did you know?
From the observation of my officers.
Well, did you have one of them secreted in their bedroom?
No, sir.
Perhaps you had their bedroom bugged?
No, sir.
So on what do you base your conclusions?
They always appeared to be on good terms.
You mean they didn't fight in public before the hotel guests?
I mean they seemed friendly.
In fact, you have no positive proof for the real state of the Clements' marriage, have you?
Apart from...
Oh, please answer yes or no.
No, sir.
Thank you, Chief Superintendent.
Now, Chief Superintendent Lane, to your knowledge, was that tape altered or tampered with in any way?
No, sir. And I should like to point out that my office safe is connected by a security device to the main switchboard at the police station.
Which is constantly manned?
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. Now, the hotel Mr. and Mrs. Clement ran, in whose name was it?
In both names, sir. It was jointly owned.
Yes, and over these 4 years, you and your officers were able to observe them on many occasions.
Oh, yes, sir.
Now, to your knowledge, did Mr. and Mrs. Clement ever act as if they were anything other than a normal, happily married couple?
No, sir.
Thank you, Chief Superintendent. That concludes the evidence for the prosecution, my lord.
You are Arnold Parker of Grange Farm, Dilford, near Fulchester.
I am.
You have an honours degree in electronics from Cambridge University.
Yes.
You are a lecturer in audio engineering at Stonebridge University.
Yes.
And you are author of 2 books on what I believe is called electronic surveillance.
Bugging. Yes, that's right.
Now, Mr. Parker, have you had an opportunity of studying this tape held by Special Branch and used in evidence in this case?
Yes, I've studied it.
I refer in particular to alleged telephone conversations between the defendant and a man allegedly called Hendrik du Plessis.
Yes.
Now, in your opinion, are these recordings authentic?
It depends on what you mean by authentic.
Well, firstly, are the voices those of the defendant and Mr. du Plessis?
The defendant's voice is there. As for the other, it's not quite that simple.
What do you mean, Mr. Parker?
May I demonstrate, my lord?
Oh, more electronics, Mr. Lotterby.
I'm afraid so, my lord.
Very well, Mr. Parker, proceed.
I have a copy of the first telephone recording. Now, if you remember, the conversation began with Mr. Clement answering the phone, a voice identifying itself as Henrik. Take it from there, please.
Place called Notley Moorside, note?
Yes, about 12 miles away. You saw him?
Notice the slight change in the background noise level between the last 2 sentences?
No. No, to be frank, Mr. Parker, no, I didn't.
Try and listen for it. Go back. Repeat that last one.
Place called Notley Moorside, note?
Yes, about 12 miles away. You saw him?
Well, what is your explanation?
I think that is where a new tape was spliced on and re-recorded.
In your opinion, is the phrase, "you saw him," said in Mr. Clement's voice?
Oh, yes, but it comes from a different telephone conversation and was joined on to make it appear that this is all one conversation. A lot of Mr. Clement's other remarks have been taken out of context and re-recorded. For example, roll on from there, please.
You guaranteed our supplies?
Yes.
All of them?
I should imagine that was probably taken from a telephone conversation Mr. Clement had with his brewers.
What about the mention of the weapons?
From the words rocket launchers, please.
Rocket launchers, mortars.
Ah, merde.
He can do armor lights.
Good. Why not the rest?
Thank you. You'll notice that Clement never mentions any weapon by name. It's always the other man who does that. Clement's words could have been taken from almost any telephone conversation he'd made.
Now, is the other voice that of Hendrik du Plessis?
That I don't know. I don't see how anyone can tell. As I understand it, he's dead.
I'm afraid I don't follow you, Mr. Parker.
Well, my lord, perhaps it'd be simpler if I explained how I could reproduce this telephone conversation from a number of taped conversations.
Yeah, I understand the process of taking snippets of conversation, but what about Mr. du Plessis' questions?
No, that's no problem, my lord. All you need is someone to imitate du Plessis' voice, which you then record.
If I understand you correctly, you take these bits of pieces of conversation, you put them together on a new tape, as if the whole thing was happening in one moment of time.
Correct, my lord.
Well, can you prove it?
No, my lord. At least not in any absolute sense. The only real and final proof is to find the patched master tape, which I should imagine would have been destroyed just as soon as it had been re-recorded.
Nonetheless, Mr. Parker, you were able to tell that these conversations had been doctored, shall we say?
Yes, the basic giveaway is in the fluctuations of the background noise level of the recording.
And you found such changes in these recordings?
I did.
Thank you, Mr. Parker.
Now, Mr. Parker, you say that fluctuations in the background noise level was the giveaway.
Yes.
Yes. Now, it is true, is it not, that many factors can affect the background noise level of a recording?
Yes, indeed.
Yes, accidental factors, quite innocent factors.
Yes.
And not the least of which being simple mechanical fault.
Yes, but with one proviso.
What's that?
One would not expect a fault to occur just at the point where arms are mentioned and then right itself immediately after.
But it could happen.
Pigs could fly.
Yes, and talking of things agricultural, Mr. Parker, your address is Grange Farm, is it not?
It is.
Grange Farm is a commune, is it not?
Yes.
An anarchist commune?
We don't believe in labels.
No, I'm sure you don't, Mr. Parker. Now, this is the second time, is it not, that you've given evidence against the police about alleged bugging activities?
My lord, what Mr. Parker has done on other occasions in other courts can in no way affect his performance in this.
I can't answer on that, Mr. Lotterby. I'm not clear on your line of defence. Are you disputing that Mr. Clement was involved in this uprising?
Certainly, my lord. The prosecution has brought forward no proof whatsoever.
You're wasting time.
Mr. Clement.
Lawyers confuse everything. I'm an honourable man, a soldier. I led the landing on Santa Isabella. I do not deny it.
Look, Mr. Clement, you must not interrupt.
I tell the truth, I was there. I was a soldier fighting for a cause I believe to be right.
Mr. Clement, I must advise you...
I have spoken.
Mr. Lotterby, would you like a brief adjournment to consult with your client?
I do not need lawyers to tell me it is more prudent to lie than to tell the truth. I know that. But I am not a prudent man, nor am I ashamed.
Under the circumstances, my lord, I think any such conference would be fruitless.
Yes. Have you any further questions, Mr. Parsons?
No, my lord.
I've no re-examination, my lord.
Right. You may go, Mr. Parker.
I call the defendant, George Clement.
We'd better also unpack them.
What is your religion?
Protestant.
Take the book in your right hand and read aloud the words on the card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You are Georges Albert Clement?
Yes, sir.
Your present address is Bentham Prison, Fulchester?
Yes, sir.
Are you at present married to Margaret Patterson?
She has started divorce proceedings.
Detective Chief Superintendent Lane has said that you are joint owner of the Highmore Hotel with your wife. Is that true?
No. I made over my share of the hotel to Margaret. That is why I came back to Fulchester.
Is Margaret Patterson your first wife?
No, my second. My first wife died in the Congo.
Until you came to this country 5 years ago, you were the owner of a plantation in the Congo, were you not?
Yes.
Now, what happened to this plantation?
They destroyed it.
Who?
Congo army deserters, gendarmes, guerrillas, who knows? I doubt if they knew themselves. Some had uniforms, some had not, but all were armed. They came one morning, early, 150, 200 of them. It was a massacre. They killed my Africans, my dogs. They burned my house, my crops.
What happened to your wife?
They raped her and killed her.
You carry a scar on your face. Is that a memento of when your wife was murdered?
One of the blacks had a panga, a big knife. He meant to cut off my head. He missed. He was drunk on my whiskey. They were mad, quite mad, savages. They leave me for dead with my wife's head beside me. The natives believe there's great power in a head.
You lost everything in this raid.
I lost my plantation. Over 20 years' work. In 2 hours, it was all gone. It was still burning 2 days later. All gone.
So you decided to fight back, to become a leader of mercenaries.
They had to be stopped. Black savages destroying everything. Over 20 years' work, my life all gone.
Mr. Chase has given his version of events at Juba during the Congo
He
War.
didn't understand Africa. How could he after only 2 weeks? You must know the circumstances. The Congo was in a state of anarchy. Private armies, public armies, guerrillas. We took Juba about 8 o'clock in the morning. It had been abandoned by Congolese troops. The villagers welcomed us. 20 of my men went into a bar. A bomb went off. 17 of them were killed. Someone had placed a bomb. Others must have known it was there. I took 17 Africans who I felt sure were responsible. If they didn't place the bomb themselves, they must have known who had. They refused to tell the truth. I had them shot, that is all.
So it was just the 17 who died?
Africans only understand strength. You're wasting your time being magnanimous with blacks.
Your second marriage, how did your second marriage to Margaret Patterson work out?
Good at first, then not so good.
The marriage began to break up?
Yes.
And why was that?
I'm not a hotelier. I'm a planter. What should I know about running hotels?
Did you ever think of returning to Africa?
How could I? I was too well known. No black state would have me. It would be difficult for me, even in South Africa.
How did you become involved in the Santa Isabella affair?
I had read about the independence. I knew there were planters, businessmen, white men who were worried about what would happen.
You feared it would be the Congo all over again?
Of course. The only hope is to stand firm.
You sympathize with the views of the white population of Santa Isabella?
When you have given years of your life building up something, it is yours. No one has a right to take it away from you. What have the blacks done everywhere in the world where they have taken over? They have taken what people like me have built.
So what did you decide to do?
I left England and went to Amsterdam, where I offered my services.
So you didn't start discussing the rebellion until after you finally left the country?
No.
Now, Chief Superintendent Lane has produced recordings of telephone conversations you were alleged to have had with Hendrik du Plessis. Do you remember these conversations?
I do, exactly.
Do these recordings accord with your recollection?
No, they do not.
In what way are they different?
Names have been added, places.
You are of the opinion that these recordings have been tampered with?
Of the opinion? We are not fools and amateurs. You think we would name names, give details of arms where anyone could have been listening?
The case of the Queen against Clement will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court. The charge is treason. The defendant, Georges Clement, ex-Belgian planter, ex-Congo mercenary. He is on trial today at Fulchester Crown Court for leading an armed revolt on the Caribbean island of Santa Isabella when it was still part of Her Majesty's overseas territories. 25 people died.
Mr. Clement, you have admitted you led the landing at Santa Isabella.
Yes.
How many men did you have under your command?
30.
How did you come ashore?
In 2 launches. Myself and Schneider and 9 men were in the first launch. Henri du Plessis was in command of the second launch.
Now, what happened when you landed?
They were waiting for us. I don't know how they knew. Perhaps Simon Chase had told them, I don't know.
Can you remember the precise order of events on the beach?
Who has time to be precise when the shooting starts?
Try.
Well, a couple of flares went up. We were caught. Half of us stood in the water, half on the beach. And someone started shooting.
Who?
How should I know? Someone on the other side.
They definitely fired first?
Yes. I saw Henri du Plessis and Pierre Vienne go down almost immediately. I'd known Pierre for nearly 20 years. He owned a store about 15 miles from my plantation. They did not have a chance.
Do you remember anyone calling upon you to surrender?
No, the shooting started as soon as the flares went up.
And you managed to escape?
Yes, myself and 2 others.
You made your way to England?
Yes.
Why?
Where else could I get any money?
You hope to obtain this money from your wife?
Of course.
Is that the only reason you came back?
Yes. My marriage was at an end, but I had to have money. Who else could I turn to? Believe me, penniless mercenaries are not popular anywhere.
And did you get any money from your wife?
No, I did not have the chance.
What was your plan if you had obtained this money?
To get to Belgium or Germany, and then who knows? I was finished whatever I'd done.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Clement.
Now, Mr. Clement, do you know what proof is?
Yes.
Then what proof can you offer us, apart from your own unsubstantiated testimony, that the story of yours of the loss of your plantation during the Congo uprising is true?
This.
Well, that's not proof, Mr. Clement. That's window dressing, designed to justify the bloody massacre that Mr. Chase witnessed.
No. My wife was killed by these savages. My plantation was destroyed.
Now, Mr. Clement, do you know what allegiance is?
I'm not a lawyer.
His Lordship explained the concept of allegiance yesterday.
I do not remember his exact words.
Well, they're surprising for someone who claims to remember in detail a telephone conversation of some months ago.
What is surprising about that? A telephone conversation I can understand, legal language I cannot.
And yet your defense is aimed at persuading the jury that you do not owe allegiance to the British Crown.
I am not conducting my defense. Mr. Lotterby is ask him.
Well, there's no need for that, Mr. Clement. The law is quite clear on that point. As an alien, you are held to owe allegiance to the Crown if your wife and property are under the protection of the Crown.
I gave up my share of the property before I went to Honduras. My marriage is over. My wife is divorcing me.
Ah, yes, the famous divorce. When was it filed?
What?
On what date was your divorce filed?
I don't know.
Well, then let me enlighten you. Your wife filed the divorce on the day after you were arrested by the special branch.
What does the date matter?
But a great deal, Mr. Clement. If the divorce had been filed before you returned to Fulchester while you were in Honduras, as you suggest, then one might be prepared to accept that the marriage had already broken up. The jury might be prepared to believe that under those circumstances you did not owe allegiance. But to file the divorce the day after your arrest...
My wife did not know where I was.
Well, any solicitor would have told her that you don't need to know your husband's whereabouts in order to start divorce proceedings. Anyway, I see my learned friend is calling Mrs. Clement as his next witness, so I shall be able to ask her personally.
No! Leave my wife out of it.
Well, you brought her into it, Mr. Clement, not I.
Mr. Clement, I will not have language like that used in this court.
My lord, I wish to apologize.
More to the point, Mr. Lotterby. Do you wish to re-examine Mr. Clement?
No, my lord.
You may leave the witness box, Mr. Clement.
I call Mrs. Margaret Clement.
Margaret Clement, please.
What is your religion?
Church of England.
Take the book in your right hand and read aloud the words on the card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
You are Margaret Clement, wife of the defendant.
I am.
You live at the Highmore Hotel near Fulchester?
Yes.
Your husband, Georges Clement, has no financial interest in this hotel.
None at all.
When did you marry?
In 1969.
You met your husband in the Congo?
Yes. We met first about 15 years ago. I was a nurse in a hospital in Leopoldville, as it then was.
What was your impression of Georges Clement at that time?
Oh, he was a happy, extrovert sort of person. He had a big plantation up country.
He was a successful planter?
Oh, yes, very.
He was married at that time, I believe.
Yes.
When did you see him again?
In Europe.
Yes.
In 1969 in Brussels.
Mm-hmm. How did you meet?
Well, we were both staying at the same hotel. He came up and introduced himself.
He introduced himself. Didn't you remember him from Leopoldsville?
No. He was so changed, I didn't recognize him at all.
In what way was he changed?
Well, it wasn't just that he was 15 years older. Or his face.
The scar, you mean?
Yes.
There was a big change in him?
Oh, yes. You wouldn't have thought he was the same man. He was very quiet, not happy at all. And bitter, terribly bitter.
About what had happened to him in the Congo?
Oh, yes, he just couldn't accept it.
What couldn't he accept?
What had happened? Why it had happened. He'd lost his plantation, his wife, and then when Shambi fled, his command. And he couldn't understand why people seemed to regard him as some kind of bloodthirsty monster just because he fought for Shambi. All he was trying to do was to get back his plantation.
And you decided to get married?
Yes.
Why did you decide to settle in this country?
Well, there weren't many other places we could go. There weren't many countries that were willing to have Georges Clement living there.
You could have stayed in Belgium.
Georges was born in the Belgian Congo. Belgium itself was a foreign country to him.
So you came to England?
Yes. I'd been left some money by an aunt, and so I suggested we come over here and get a business. We bought the hotel.
Were you happy?
At first. At least I was, but Georges never seemed to be able to settle.
He was restless?
He couldn't shake himself free from the past. He was always brooding about it.
Did this obsession with the past create difficulties with the marriage?
It made him very difficult to live with.
In what way?
Well, sometimes he would just go off, disappear for days on end.
Is this when he began to make these visits to Amsterdam?
Yes, I think it must have been.
Did he tell you whom he met on these occasions?
Well, he said he'd seen some of his men, the men he'd fought with in the Congo. Schneider, Duplessis, Vienne.
But did he give you any indication as to the purpose of these meetings?
He said they just used to talk about old times, but he always seemed moodier when he came back from Amsterdam.
Did you know whether they were planning the invasion of Santa Isabella?
No.
It would be true to say, would it not, Mrs. Clement, that until your husband left you, you had no idea what his plans were?
That's right.
When did he leave you?
In January. He just packed up and went.
Had the marriage finally broken down by that time?
Yes.
What arrangements did he make with you before he left?
Financial arrangements?
Yes.
Well, before he left, he said that I was to have his share of the hotel. I was to be the sole owner. He signed a piece of paper giving me everything.
Yes. Will you look at this paper? Thank you. Is this the piece of paper he signed?
Yes.
Exhibit number 4, my lord. So, at the time of his departure, he did not, in fact, have any property in this country.
That's correct.
And you have already told us that by that time, your marriage had already broken down.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Clement.
Now, Mrs. Clement, you have sworn to tell the truth.
Yes.
And you understand, do you not, that if you lie to this court, you could be found guilty of perjury?
I know that.
Yes, you see, I put it to you, Mrs. Clement, that your evidence is a tissue of lies.
No.
I put it to you that you have one aim in view, to get the jury to find your husband not guilty.
That's not true. Of course I don't want him to go to jail, but I told the truth.
Well, let's examine that truth, shall we, Mrs. Clement? Now, first of all, let's clear up this nonsense about the hotel. You've said in evidence, on oath, that your husband made the hotel over to you before he went off to Honduras.
Yes.
And that's the document you've just seen.
Yes.
Now, what date does that bear?
It's not dated.
Oh. Oh, so he could have drawn it up at any time, could he?
Well, he could have done, yes, but he did it before he left.
It's rather a cavalier way, is it not, of dealing with what must be a valuable piece of property, scrawling on a piece of paper?
He's not a lawyer.
Well, yet your husband gave as one of his reasons for returning to Foodster after the Santa Isabella incident the fact that he wanted to complete the legal side of handing over the hotel.
Up till that time, there was only that piece of paper.
Yes, which he could have drawn up at any time.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's how it happened. George just wanted to make the whole thing legal.
Well, his subsequent behaviour would appear to belie that, Mrs. Clement. And all the same, if your husband wished merely to tie up the legal side of handing over the property, he could have done so quite adequately by letter, thus avoiding the risk of arrest. All he had to do was contact a solicitor who would have drawn up the necessary deed.
Well, he didn't do it like that.
Well, evidently. But what I don't understand, Mrs. Clement, is why he should bother at all.
What do you mean?
Well, you yourself said, Mrs. Clement, that the marriage was in ruins long before he left you to take part in this tragic invasion.
Yes.
So why should he bother what happened to you?
Well, it wasn't just me. There was Paul to think of.
Paul?
My son.
Oh, yes. What nationality is your son?
English, of course.
Yes, yes. Now, in your evidence to my learned friend, you are not specific as to the reason for the breakdown of the marriage.
Marriages break down for all kinds of reasons.
Yes. Now, the reasons you cited, if I may summarize them, would appear to include mysterious and unexplained disappearances, presumably to meet his ex-mercenary friends, and general moodiness.
There were other reasons.
Yes, well, there would have to be, wouldn't there, Mrs. Clement? I mean, the reasons you cited hardly give grounds for divorce.
You try living with a man who's obsessed with the past.
But you did mention that there were other reasons for the breakdown. What were they?
Well, my lord, this is a very personal matter. Do I have to answer these questions?
Yes, I'm afraid you do, Mrs. Clement.
It's very embarrassing.
Yes, it is.
Now, what are the other reasons for the breakdown of the marriage?
Georges was violent sometimes.
Violent?
He hit me on occasions.
When?
I didn't make a note of the exact dates.
Well, what were the occasions when your husband struck you?
Well, when I complained about his trips.
Yes, and were there any witnesses of these assaults?
No.
Well,
we didn't have rise in public. You can't afford to if you're running an hotel.
No, did anyone ever comment about your bruises?
No.
Well, none of your customers?
No.
Well, to your knowledge, did anyone ever notice these bruises?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, they did exist, I suppose, these bruises.
I've said they did.
Did you, Mrs. Clement? Do you love your husband, Mrs. Clement?
What?
I said, do you still love your husband?
I don't know.
Well, either you do or you do not, Mrs. Clement.
Well, I'm still fond of him, if that's what you mean. Besides, he's the father of my son.
Well, you don't have to apologize for it, Mrs. Clement.
I'm not.
Now, I'd like to return for a moment to the question of the hotel, the High Moor, is it not?
Yes.
Now, how much did you pay for it?
£28,000.
Yes, that was about 1970.
Yes.
Who provided the finance?
We both did.
Do you have a mortgage?
Not a very large one.
And how much money did you put down in cash?
£20,000.
Of which how much did you personally contribute?
About 7,000.
Yes, that was money I think you said you'd recently inherited.
Yes.
Yes. So your husband was able to contribute approximately £13,000 towards the hotel.
Something like that.
Yes, a very creditable effort for a man who is supposed to have lost his all in the Congo.
Well, I wouldn't know about that.
No. Well, do you know where the money came from?
No.
You see, I'd put it to you, Mrs. Clement, that your evidence is a patchwork of lies designed to save your husband. What in fact happened was that his political involvement and his financial greed simultaneously inspired him to take off and lead this revolt. And believing that he could return to his wife and his property secure from arrest because of his Belgian nationality.
No.
Now, when did you become aware that your husband was planning this Caribbean escapade?
Well, I knew that something was in the air, but I never knew precisely what. It might have been just that he'd been planning to leave me.
But he never told you?
No.
Well, perhaps he was too busy beating you up? Now, Mrs. Clement, did the special branch give you instructions in the event of your husband returning to this country as a fugitive after the Santa Isabella debacle?
Yes, they asked me to telephone them if he got in touch with me.
Yes. Did you do so, Mrs. Clement?
Oh, my lord, my learned friend is inviting the witness to incriminate herself.
My lord, I fail to see how, whether such a phone call was made or not, could possibly incriminate the witness.
The witness could lay herself open to a charge of being an accessory after the fact.
But all she has to do is answer yes or no. Either she made the phone call or she did not.
So I think Mr. Parsons' question's valid, Mr. Lotterby, but on the other hand, I do take your point. You may put your question, Mr. Parsons, but please bear in mind that the witness has the right to avoid self-incrimination.
Yes, I understand, my lord. Now, Mrs. Clement, did you phone the special branch?
No.
But you knew what your husband had done.
The papers were full of it. I could hardly miss knowing.
So why didn't you telephone?
Well, I didn't see why I should do the police's work for them. Besides, he's my husband.
Well, for a marriage that had allegedly broken down, Mrs. Clement, you seem to have shown a great deal of concern for your husband.
Mrs. Clement, had your marriage finally broken down by the time your husband left for Amsterdam?
Yes.
Are you at this moment petitioning for a divorce?
I am.
In the time you've been married, has your husband ever drawn up any legal document in which to settle a private matter between the two of you?
No.
In the time you've been married, has he ever shown any profound knowledge as to the workings of English law?
None whatsoever.
Were you at all surprised as to the casual way in which he handed over to you his share of the Highmore Hotel?
Not at all. I'd have been surprised if he'd done it any other way.
And you're certain that that document in which he handed everything over to you was written before he left you?
Yes, I am.
So effectively he had no business interests in this country, no property, no wife, nothing for him to leave under the protection of the Crown?
No. He just cut himself off from me and from everything in this country.
Thank you, Mrs. Clement. No further questions.
You may stand down, Mrs. Clement.
That completes the case for the defence, my lord.
Mr. Parsons?
May it please your lordship. Members of the jury, for centuries, treason has been regarded as the gravest of crimes. Grave because it is a denial of the allegiance we all of us owe to our crown and to our country. It is, in fact, a denial of the allegiance we owe to each other. Now, let us be clear about the obvious facts, first of all. Georges Clement does not deny organising and leading an armed revolt on one of Her Majesty's territories. He did not so admit at the beginning of this trial, but you yourselves all heard him, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, admit so during a violent outburst on the second day of this trial. Now, the defendant and his wife have played a brave charade,
You can join us again.
pretending
Our
that the
cameras
marriage was
return
over
to bring you
long
another case
before he left
in the
for
Crown
Honduras,
Court.
and that he had signed over the ownership of the hotel to her, thus hoping to prove he did not owe allegiance. Now, the divorce was filed on the day after his arrest. The hotel was signed over on an undated scrap of paper. Now, I'm sure his lordship will direct you once again on the meaning of allegiance. I will not go over it in my speech. A great deal of time has been spent during this trial in talking about it, perhaps to the extent that we have forgotten that 25 people were killed in Mr. Clement's admitted revolt, and 13 of them were British subjects protecting Crown property. It is sad when a human being admits to such a deed with pride. Mr. Clement does so. And I put it to you, members of the jury, that when Mr. Clement fled Santa Isabella early that morning, he returned to his wife, his child, and his property, hoping at that time that either no one would know of his participation in the revolt or that he was immune from arrest because of his Belgian nationality. Mr. Clement was wrong on both counts, and I put it to you, members of the jury, you have no option but to find him guilty.
My lord, members of the jury, politics, like drama, demands a villain. And if he doesn't exist naturally, he has to be invented. And Georges Clement was a convenient political scapegoat. Now, you've heard his evidence, members of the jury. Is this man a deliberate traitor to the crown? Surely not. He's a bitter, unhappy man who is exiled from his home, Africa. Now, he's the ideal tool for politicians. A brave but basically simple man. A man who isn't likely to ask any awkward questions. But you must, ladies and gentlemen. And the question you must ask yourselves is simply whether Georges Clement owed any allegiance to this country at all. Now, we have heard certain tape recordings of alleged phone conversations that took place in this country. And we've heard that the defendant appears to be plotting the rebellion. But much doubt has been thrown on the authenticity of these recordings. It's obvious that the special branch wanted to make absolutely sure of a conviction. And is it indeed likely that an experienced mercenary like Georges Clement would plot armed revolt over the phone? I mean, as he himself has said, we are not fools and amateurs. Before setting out on this pathetic expedition, Mr. Clement made over to his wife his share of the hotel they jointly owned. Now, Mrs. Clement has said the marriage was finished before he left on his abortive expedition. Therefore, members of the jury, Georges Clement owed no allegiance to this country at the time of the insurrection, and consequently you must find him not guilty.
Members of the jury, your verdict must, by nature of the case for the defense, turn on your interpretation on the question of allegiance. Protection and allegiance are reciprocal, or as one judge said in olden days, protection draws allegiance and allegiance draw protection. In other words, if you or your family or your possessions lie within the protection of the realm, then no matter whether you are a citizen of that realm or not, you owe allegiance to that realm. Now, if I could quote another legal authority, if an alien live here and enjoy the benefit of the king's protection and committed treason, he shall be judged as a traitor. Now, whilst Clement was living in this country, he clearly owed allegiance. But the question is, was he plotting this rebellion then? He says he was not. Because if he was, He's clearly guilty of treason. He admits plotting this rebellion after he left this country, but he says that he had no intention of returning, that he had abandoned his possessions to his wife, and that he had abandoned his wife and child. Well, it is my duty to direct you, members of the jury, that if that story is true, he is not guilty of treason. But he did return to this country. And you must ask yourselves why. You may think that his reason for returning cast some doubt upon his defense. He says he came back here because he needed money, and he had nowhere else to go to get it. Now, members of the jury, in considering your verdict, you mustn't be influenced by the severity of the sentence that I shall be forced to impose should you find the defendant guilty. It is for the judge to sentence. It is for the jury to weigh the evidence and to arrive at a just verdict. Now, will you retire and consider your verdict?
All stand.
The jury has been out for over 3 hours now.
Members of the jury, are you agreed on your verdict?
Yes.
Do you find the prisoner Georges Albert Clement guilty or not guilty of treason?
Guilty.
Is that the verdict of you all?
Yes.
George Albert Clement, you have been found guilty of treason, the gravest crime known to law. You knowingly and deliberately led an insurrection against Her Majesty the Queen and her duly elected ministers. You willingly caused the deaths of some 25 people, at least 13 of whom were Her Majesty's subjects. The sentence of this court is that you shall be taken from here to a lawful prison, and from thence to a place of execution, where you shall be hanged by the neck until you are dead, and that your body be afterwards buried in the precincts of the prison in which you shall have been confined before your execution. And may the Lord have mercy on your soul.
Next week, a chance for you to join another jury when our cameras return to the Crown Court.